Hello again. It has been technically about a whole year since I reviewed a Porsche. Yes, that's right. I only reviewed one Porsche last year, which was the Cayman GT4, the video that I highly doubted and underestimated, attracting a bunch of viewers rapidly. If you're new or old to my channel and haven't seen it, be sure to go check it out as the link is in the description down below after the end of this video. This is the latest Porsche 911 generation, the 911 992 Carrera S that was suggested by a friend to review this car. The second ever Porsche I'm reviewing in my channel, and I can't wait to dive right into talking about this gorgeous Porsche 911. Also keep in mind that more Porsche content is soon underway. The Porsche 992 reflects the 8th generation of the Porsche 911 sports machine, which was first introduced in the fourth quarter in November 2018 in Los Angeles, California. At that point, the 992 911 first went on sale to the public in the summer of 2019 for the 2020 model year. When this first came out, along with other few variants like the Carrera and 4S Coupes and Cabriolet variants and the turbo models later, the new 992 marks the beginning of the latest evolution of the world's most iconic sports car followed after its predecessor. When every new Gen 911 comes out, they continue to get bigger on a scale, more expensive, wider, longer, but also faster too. While the 911 still keeps the traditional profile since back in the mid-1960s. The given start price for this Carrera S is $115,000 before options which are honestly so expensive just for the base sport model. Why? Because Porsche has a long history of quality production and is indeedly connected with luxury, and the price points of their cars reflect that. The better the quality, the higher the cost, and people willing to pay. The 992 replaced the outgoing 7-year-long production run of the 991, which debuted back in 2012, and the new 992 continues this exceptional pedigree while staying true to its legacy. But how does these two generations differ from one another even though they nearly look the same, you asked? Well, the new 992 Carrera S comes with a 3-liter twin turbocharged boxer flat 6 engine mated to an 8-speed PDK dual clutch transmission, although now 7-speed and 6-speed manual options are available since 2020 for different models, including the Carrera S. This version I am reviewing is automatic. While the standard 992 Carrera only came with 380 brake horsepower, the S version of it produces up to 443 brake horsepower and 391 pound-feet of torque to the rear wheels. That's 19 more horsepower than the previous Gen 991 Carrera S, and that only makes 424 brake horsepower. There is no surprise that this is almost quick as the mid-engine Corvette C8 Stingray, while the 911 is rear-engined. So how quick is the new Porsche 911? According to Car and Driver, the 992 Carrera S tested accelerating 0 to 60 mph in 3 seconds flat and reached a quarter mile in 11.3 seconds at 125 mph. It doesn't stop until maxing out at a top speed of 191 mph. And when you put it like that compared to the Corvette Stingray, the 992 Carrera S with an instantaneous automatic almost matches the C8 Corvette from 0 to 60, and top speed is only a 3 mph difference and a 50 horsepower difference too, where the C8 Vet's top speed is 194 mph and this Carrera S's top speed is 191 mph. The Vet is roughly quicker, faster, and priced half cheaper than the Porsche 911. And the Porsche 911 is that good for such a powerful and expensive sports car. And unlike the Corvette now, the Porsche 911 is still available with a full manual gearbox. The more expensive and less expensive rivals like the Aston Martin V8 Vantage, Jaguar F-Type, Porsche 718 Cayman, and Ford Mustang GT350 also come optionally with a manual and just delivers a different driving experience. While the 992 remains true to the iconic shape of the model, there are a few significant distinctions that separate it from the outgoing model. Starting up front, the hood of the 992 features sharper edges instead of curved edges on the 991 hood. The sculpted hood design pays tribute to the classic 1970s 911 models. The oval-shaped air vents of the 991 now have a more rectangular appearance on the 992. The 992 has influential wheel arches and signature sloping that have made the 911 instantly recognizable worldwide. Apart from the 991, the 992 has electronic door handles, different mirrors, and wheels. The rear of the 991 and 992 perhaps have the most notable design differences are evident when comparing both models together. The first eye-catching is the thin slitted horizontal LED taillights stretching across the entire rear fascia and almost resembles the ones on the Porsche Panamera, the Cayenne, the Macan, and the Taycan design. The stylish complement gives the rear end a sense of proportion and appreciation. The improved exhaust on the 992 is different, and many flows help boost power deliberately on the 992. The compression ratio within the engine is larger than the 991's while maintaining a boost pressure of 16 psi as the result of the extra horsepower of the 992. The 992 Carrera features the third brake vertical light in the middle of the lineage rear air ducts. And finally, compared to its predecessor, the 992 is 1.8 inches wider and uses aluminum body panels, unlike the 991, which uses high-strength steel and aluminum frame. Now let's browse into the 992 Carrera S's interior. As you spotted right away, the car has a lot of great technology, a high-quality dashboard with polished controls, buttons, and screens justifying its higher price tag. It's not on par with other car makers like BMW and Mercedes, for example, but pretty good. The center console is nice with decorative panels and functional buttons. Behind the center console, you can swap a cup holder or tiny storage space into that slot whenever you like. The hugest notable difference is the gear lever is incredibly smaller than the 991's gear lever and consists of reverse, neutral, and drive. Below the gear lever is the park button for parking and the manual button for when you're driving, while shifting gears using the dual clutch pedals integrated behind the steering wheel. There are sunroof controls, seat climate adjustment controls, and air conditioning climate controls above the gear shifter with air climate vents above that. Above that are 5 buttons for the suspension button, disable traction control, hazard button, sport exhaust button, and the diamond button for the shortcut key and the infotainment screen. The 11-inch infotainment touchscreen combined with a navigation system is very responsive and up to date with most features to meet anyone's expectations. One of the coolest features in the infotainment screen is where the driver can activate the retractive spoiler by going to the driving settings and pressing the spoiler button on the screen to pop up the aero spoiler despite what the car's driving mode is set. The steering wheel is revised and redesigned along with the dashboard. On the bottom right of the steering wheel is the selective drive mode dial to adjust 5 driving modes: wet, normal, sport, sport plus, and individual mode displayed on the screen behind the steering wheel. Both groups of floating buttons and dials next to the horn on either side of the steering wheel is a cool design. The 992's gauge cluster is updated and enhanced over the 991 generation, whereas the older 911s had an old school and basic gauge clusters until the end of the 991 era. The 992's gauge cluster has 2 digital screens, and in the middle is the fixed tachometer that defines throwback to the Porsche's lineage where the tachometer has always been fixed in place. And it's cool how Porsche combined that right in the middle between the digital screens. The left screen displays the speedometer and the air temperature outside, and the right displays several cars' information like the tire pressure, drive mode, G-forces, etc. And in addition has a world map that shows the driver where they are exactly. Thanks to you, Doug DeMiro. The 992 Carrera S has 4 seats. By the way, if you assumed that this is only a 2-seater car with 2 doors. Just like about every Porsche 911, the 992's back seats are for sure tight, as this is a driver-focused car with a sort of luxury average comfort seats and a powerful flat 6 engine that refuses to disappoint. The front trunk only contains up to 4.6 cubic feet of cargo, but is deep enough to fit 2 suitcases, which is amazing. In addition, there is still plenty of space inside the car where the back seat can be tilted forward. With that said, altogether is around 9.2 cubic feet of luggage space, and then you can place even more large items in here. Now that after we covered the interior, let's finish up discussing this 992 Carrera S as the car drives. First of all, the sound of the engine is so good to listen to revving or driving through the gear shifts up to 7,500 RPMs. Although the flat 6 engine sounds nice, it most definitely doesn't beat the 992 GT3's exhaust sound, as that one revs higher to 9,000 RPMs. The new 992 Carrera S is kinda luxurious while it's dearly usable and still gives the sports car vibes. The turbocharged engine is incredibly responsive, combined with the PDK being such a fantastic transmission of seamless shifts, while the manual transmission requires skill. Yes, the manual might be slower but very engaging for manual driving enthusiasts. However, the PDK is better in my opinion, and is capable of launch control starts that will result at 0 to 60 mph in just 3 seconds if you nail the launch control flawlessly like the dudes from Car and Driver. With that said, the 911 has grown bigger on the scale in almost the past 60 years, and the 992 Carrera S weighs about 3,428 pounds and still drives like a sports car and nimble, entering and exiting out the corners like a sports car should, and kind of a luxury car of the Porsche 911. This isn't as quick as any turbo or GT3 models around the racetrack, but has enough reasonable power with a combination of everything of modern technology, high quality materials, satisfaction, along with the amazing driving experience, and then you're all set. The only issue is the Porsches stay getting more expensive and then again keep getting better and faster with better tech every model every year. But if you want the best modern tech and the best all-around Porsche 911 that you can drive on a day-to-day basis or whatever, and are willing to pay a lot of money, then this is the car for you. And so, this is where we are going to wrap it up here at the end of this car review of the Porsche 992 911 Carrera S, and I hope you guys really did sit back and relax and enjoy this epic video. And if you did, do not forget to click to subscribe and hit the like button, and as always, you are more than happy to give me any car suggestions to review in the future in the comments down below, and like I said, I appreciate that. Let's virtually walk to the Porsche 992 Carrera S and get inside and stuck the keys into the ignition and start the engine. Make sure to adjust your headphone volume for the exhaust sound of this Porsche 992. Peace out, stay safe, Chris the Radar out.